This is the Duo by Enhance Pickleball, famous for its connected feel and precision control. But will it give intermediate players the confidence to swing hard without losing control? Most paddle reviews come from advanced players, which makes up about 10% of the community. I'm an intermediate player testing paddles to see if they work for the rest of us. Let's get into it. Hello everyone! Before we get into the review, just wanted to talk about pricing. You can pick up the Enhance Duo Widebody or elongated shape for $155 after using code PBD. All of my testing has been done with the widebody shape. However, I have heard phenomenal feedback on the elongated if that's your play preference. This is one of those paddles that you could take out of the box and go hit the courts. You do not really need to add any sort of weighting at all. The swing weight comes in at 111 and the twist weight is at 7.2. Usually I'm having to add weight just to get to these types of numbers. I did end up adding a little bit of weight near the throat, really just to see how it would play, but honestly, it doesn't really need it. With these revisions, the new swing weight comes in at 113 and the new twist weight is a whopping 7.9. The Duo is a Gen 4 construction with an EPP foam on the inside that extends out to the entirety of the paddle. The difference here being the EPP thins to a narrow strip along the edges where the EVA ring sits. As we kick off the impressions, I thought I'd share a little summary of how I felt with this paddle. And for me, if I think about power paddles, this is really the Goldilocks of those types of paddles because it's not going to be at the level of the boomstick when it comes to overall power. However, for someone who's an intermediate player, that's not really what I'm after. I want sort of that mid-tier power paddle that will give me a ton of spin and generate just enough pace to surprise my opponents without hitting outballs every other time. The sweet spot on the Duo is best in class. This is one of the largest sweet spots I've ever played with, and it definitely makes everything that much easier. In addition to the power profile, I think this paddle finds a good balance between too stiff and too soft. It's just the right amount of feedback to allow you to connect with the ball without being overly jarring while you're playing. So let's start from the baseline. My drives felt really easy to execute on, and I think this is due to the stability, the spin generation, and the amount of power that the Duo provides. This led to a lot of easy fifths that I could drop over the net and take advantage of winning points when it was our serve. I also feel like the Duo is one of those paddles that you can control enough to drop on your third. Some power paddles, I don't really feel comfortable or confident in doing this, but after a little bit of time with the Duo, I was able to dial in my drops to the point where I had the option to add that to my arsenal when in some situations it's not on the table whatsoever. Having that flexibility not only creates more confidence in my overall game, it keeps your opponent guessing because if someone's waiting for a drive and they're super tense and then they get a drip or a drop headed their way, it can really ruin the point for them. And this flexibility carries into the midcourt. I could really choose what I wanted to do based on the type of ball coming my way. If I felt like I was caught off guard and needed to reset the ball, I had that option. And it would find its way over the net with a much higher percentage than some other power paddles that I've tried. Whereas if I felt like I had enough room and space to be able to volley and attack the ball on my way in, I could do that as well. The amount of pop that I was feeling felt like it was just below the VSOL Pro, but that also dialed up the control significantly, which made dinking, resets, and those types of shots a lot easier than it was for me when I was playing with the Vatic Pro. And when you finally get to the kitchen, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is one of those paddles that I felt like I could dink for hours with. It just gave me the right amount of control to be able to push my opponent out wide and really choose my spots where I wanted the ball to land, which would then lead to a pop-up that I could easily attack. And the Duo is no slouch when it comes to pop. I know I said it's slightly below the VSOL Pro, but it has plenty of put away to be able to end a point. I would attribute the ease of dinking to two things. For one, the massive amount of stability that you get with this paddle. I mean, the twist weight is at 7.9. For me, usually anything above 7 is great, but this is probably the most stable paddle that I've ever played with. Two, I think there's just enough power and pop to be able to give you that weapon when you need it without really sacrificing any of that control that you would want from this paddle when you get into those heavy dink rallies. So who is the Duo for? Well, first of all, it's someone that doesn't want to customize at all. This is one of the first paddles that I took out of the box and felt like I could take immediately to the court and play stock. The grip is phenomenal. The weighting is perfect. You even have a ton of stability without having to add anything to it. And that goes for the elongated shape as well. This carries into the paddle profile as well. You have something that is in the power category, but not too powerful. You have something that isn't too soft or too stiff, so it's going to feel really easy to connect to the ball. You'll be able to pocket and place your shots really easily. And you can use the Duo not only as an offensive weapon, but still get enough control to be able to reset the ball, to be able to consider dropping the ball, and certainly to be able to get into those dink battles where you can force your opponent to make the mistake and then punish them for it. With that in mind, let's take into account that this is a wide body shape, that it is extremely stable, but that it is still a power paddle that can be difficult to control for beginner players. That's why I would recommend that a player should be at the 3.0 level or higher to truly unlock the full potential of the Duo Widebody. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can get out and play some pickleball.